What's going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my Strikeforce Lawler vs. Shields predictions, taking place this Saturday on Showtime. Decent night of fights. I'm looking forward to this. If you want to check it out, make sure you watch Showtime. They'll have these fights up. Going to work my way from the bottom of the main card all the way to the top like I normally do. First fight of the night, Phil Baroni taking on Joe Riggs. Phil Baroni used to train out of the Hammer House, now trains out of Extreme Couture. Well known for the knockout of Dave Monet, which really rocketed him to superstardom in MMA earlier in his career. He's got solid hands, but since his cut down to 170, he's had some cardio issues, even though he's had cardio issues in the past throughout his career. He's got decent sub-defense, decent takedown defense, but well known for his striking and his hands. He's got power on both. He's on a 3-fight win streak, 1 win in Cage Rage and 1 win in Icon. Not really over anyone impressive as far as namesake-wise. He's taking on Joe Riggs, who is a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training out of Elite Performance. Fights, as a southpaw. Has fought really all over the place throughout his career. He's fought at heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight. He's fought everywhere. He's a solid grappler, good wrestler. Like I said, fights southpaw. Used to have a solid boxing career as far as amateur boxing is concerned. In this fight, I think Riggs, if he's smart, he'll take this fight down to the ground, which I think he'll be able to do. Work in and out of Baroni's guard, try to get past Baroni, get to side control, look for mount, look for something as far as on the ground. I think Riggs is either going to catch a TKO or a submission on the ground. And I think if this fight stays standing, which, parts of this fight it's going to, I think Riggs can, survive on the feet. But I think Riggs is going to get a second-round TKO and stop Phil Baroni, so that's my pick. All right, next fight, Kevin Randleman taking on Mike Whitehead. This is Kevin Randleman's return after... Lord, it's been at least a year and a half, almost 2 years since he's fought. He used to train out of the Hammer House, even though he still kind of does. He floats around camp to camp. Lately, he's been at Extreme Couture, which is going to be interesting for this fight. He's a Division I wrestler. He's got solid ground and pound. If he can get on top of you, he's got decent hands. You saw that with. Against Mirko Krokop. He does have, the flashy KO power where he can't catch you if you're not paying attention. He's got, good sub-defense for the most part. But, throughout his career, he's another individual that's had some cardio issues, which, unfortunately, at Hammer House was not something that is focused on, too much. He's taking on Mike Whitehead, who also trains at Extreme Couture. He's an IFL vet, a solid grappler, very good grappler on the ground, an underrated grappler. He's got good striking, good boxing skills. Really, in this fight, I think that with Randleman coming back, depending on what shape he's going to be in, it's going to be hard to tell. But I think that Whitehead is good on the feet. I think he's more versed than Randleman on the feet. I think on the ground, Whitehead is a solid grappler, an underrated grappler. If Randleman does get him down, I think Whitehead can work for positions off of his back, maybe catch a submission. If not, get back to his feet. I think Whitehead's going to be able to do enough in this fight on the feet and on the ground. I think Whitehead's going to win a decision. So that's my pick. Mike Whitehead via unanimous decision. All right, next fight, Andrei Arlovski taking on Brett Rogers. Andrei Arlovski coming back from his loss to Fedor Emelianenko. He's got solid hands, vicious right hand, very good leg kicks, good sambo background, decent takedown defense, very good in the clinch. Taking on Brett Rogers, training out of Team Bison. Used to fight at Elite XC, had the beef with Kimbo Slice, wanted to get that fight, didn't get it. Trains out of Team Bison. He's got good hands, solid takedown defense, good clinch work. He's got the 2 impressive wins, one over John Murphy and one over James Thompson, both knockouts. So he's got power. He's a little bit reckless at times, and I think that's going to play into this fight. I think Arlovski's going to be patient. I don't think that he's going to rush in on Rogers. I think he's going to pick him apart and actually catch him in the second round via knockout. So that's my pick, Andrei Arlovski via second round knockout. All right, next fight, Nick Diaz taking on Scott Smith. This is at a catch weight of 180. Nick Diaz coming off of the win over Frank Shamrock in an impressive fashion. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training out of Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. He's got unorthodox striking. He's got the boxing career as well. Had the surgery to try to improve his face to where he didn't cut as easily. He's got solid clinch work, good takedown defense. Very, very good grappler, unorthodox striker. And he's taking on a formidable opponent in Scott Smith. Scott Smith training out of the Capital City Fighting Alliance. He's got decent takedown defense, power in both hands if he connects. He's a very good striker, has improved with his leg kicks and his high kicks. We saw that in the Robbie Lawler fight, both Robbie Lawler fights. And he's got 2 knockouts right now, one over Terry Martin, one over Benji Roddick. And he actually came back in that fight to win that fight. So in this fight, I think that Diaz really on the feet is going to be able to use his range, use the 1-2 combinations, do the pitter-patter style that he does to work Smith, keep him back. I think he's going to pick apart Smith on the feet, and if Smith starts throwing power shots, I think Diaz isn't going to be stupid. I think he's going to look for a takedown or go to the clinch, try to clinch up with him and go for a takedown. I either see Diaz catching a submission or a TKO, but I think Diaz is going to stop Smith on the ground, and I think he's going to stop him in the second round via TKO. I think he's going to catch him with something on the feet, kind of take him down with Smith kind of weary, and finish him on the ground. So that's my pick. All right, next fight, Robbie Lawler taking on Jake Shields. Robbie Lawler training out of the Hit Squad. He was the Elite XC middleweight champion. This fight, of course, is at 182. I'm sorry, the catch with 182. He's got solid hands, solid leg kicks, solid high kicks, good takedown defense, good sub defense. He's a very, very talented striker. He's really, really improved over his last couple fights, and actually from the beginning, earlier in his career, where he ran into the roadblock of Nick Diaz, where he shouldn't have lost that fight. Many people have Robbie Lawler winning that fight, but he's a talented fighter, was the Elite XC middleweight champion, and he's taking on a dangerous grappler in Jake Shields. Jake Shields moving up in weight from 170. He was the Elite XC welterweight champion. He's probably one of the best grapplers at 170 in the world, and if not in MMA in the world. Training out of Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, improving hands, improving leg kicks. Looked really good in his last fight. He's got the impressive wins, over Mike Pyle, Paul Daly. Where in the Paul Daly fight he was in some trouble on the feet, but ended up getting the fight down to the ground and submitting Paul Daly. I think Lawler's going to be able to control the tempo of this fight, avoid the takedown. Shields is going to be the smaller fighter in this fight. Lawler will be able to, I think, shrug the takedowns off, work him on the feet, pick him apart, catch him late. I'm going to say second or third round, drop Shields, finish him on the ground, and Robbie Lawler is going to win. So those are my picks. I will try to be back the night of or the night after to do a review, depending on how things are going down. If not, make sure you look for my WEC picks, my WEC 41 predictions. And on that note, you guys, have a great day.